Now then people, it's Joe, Leeds TV, and it's Monday Night Football Talk. I hope everyone is okay, and you know what, we're all still pretty buzzing really after what was a brilliant performance on Friday by taking out the point we only got. We deserved all three, as everyone is aware. You know, tomorrow we have Hull to look forward to, and like a lot of people say, you know, someone's going to be on the end of a hiding pretty soon, and hopefully that will come tomorrow. For them that are going, enjoy your day out. It's pretty bleak, Hull, but have a good time. I went last year. It was a bit of a dire performance, to be fair. Ronnie Vieira had a bit of a stink show, but hopefully this time it'll be different. And then obviously we've got Saturday to look forward to. Back at Ellen Road, packed house, 12:30 kick-off. You know, it's going to be class, so we've got that to look forward to as well. And then, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we've got another international break, which is shite, but there we go. And then after this one, you know, there isn't one for a while, so let's get this one out of the way. And hopefully we will go into the international break on the back of 2 great wins away at Hull and 1 at home to Brentford. Fingers crossed. So, as you know, we're in the Monday Night Football Talk. I like to go through everyone's comments. Now, we've had quite a lot this week after the video at Chef Wednesday. And also some quite extensive ones as well, you know, a little bit more, they're going a little bit more analytical, a bit more deep, a bit more into the game. So as opposed to just reeling them all off and it being a very long-winded video, what I've done is just picked out a couple of comments. Well, I say a couple, there's a good few there. So what I've done, you see, is just taken a note this morning of the ones that I think are decent and ones that I can get my teeth into. As again, for all them others that have commented, you know, thanks very much for the support. I love it, man. You know, some of them just saying that they love the channel and they love the reviews and stuff. So thank you, all them people who said that. As I say, make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button. It helps us. So I'll just dive straight in. So we're going to start with CJ Wood. Okay, so basically CJ Wood goes on to say, great response in the performance from the Birmingham game, especially in the second half where they didn't have an answer to our play. You're right, I think after the game, even Reach, he looked ragged. You know, if his post-match interview that he did with Click, he looked absolutely ragged, you know, and they'll be happy with the point. And you're right, that second half performance was amazing. Not many teams are going to deal with that, and like a lot of people have said in the comments, you know, we're going to find that we're going to play, you know, some people are going to be on the end of a hiding when we play that well. We're just missing a few key players. He goes on to say, really impressed with Roberts. I think we have a real quality player in our hands. Yeah, he didn't score, but his touch movement and his layoffs for others was superb. Agreed. I said before in the other video, and to be honest, I expected a little bit of abuse on the back of it, or people questioning me. But I'd said after seeing him now, and seeing how raw he is at the minute, and he's only, what, he's still in his teens, I believe. I reckon he could go on to be a 20-goal-plus season, man. And I said that in my review after the Chef Wednesday game. Even though he didn't score, you can see he's got bags of potential. Alioski works hard up and down the line, which is why I think Bielsa picks him. Probably right, mate, you are right. And he does, he's a bit of a workhorse. He just lacks the quality when it counts. Personally, like I've said before, I'd like us playing with a back three. It would free up Douglas to be more offensive, and we could get Saiz, Hernandez, Roberts and Roof all in the team together when all match fit. I struggled to see that. I think even Roberts or Roof, when played out wide, they don't have the same impact on the game as when they do when they're playing up top. I don't think. I've seen Roof many a time all over that fecking pitch. As I say, none of us knew what his proper position was really up until this year when he started banging him in. I think, for me, I'm happy with the formation we play. It's just obvious we are missing key personnel. If you put Hernandez and Roof into the team where we've struggled to find that killer pass, we win them games. I don't think we need to tinker too much with the formation, but I can see where you're coming from, CJ. Gutted we didn't get all the points, but would have took one before the game. Loving the channel and passion shown for the team, marching on together. So thank you very much, CJ Wood. As I say, quite an in-depth comment there. We move on to Juan Pablo, who's commenting a lot recently, and I've noticed he's had a bit of He's had a bit of argy-bargy with one Ian Clark, who we'll dive into later on, so don't worry that we're going to come to that. But yeah, 1P goes on to say, last time I saw Roberts is not good enough to start the game, I was insulted. So I guess in the last video, and I don't think this is me, I did call you out and say he was a decent player, but I don't think I insulted you. But he kept saying, I keep thinking this Roberts has no offensive power. He's a massive unit, mate, and he has got power. Leeds is playing without a good striker, and that's one of the problems why we can't score. I don't think it is personally. I think it's more the creativity side of things, because for me, Roberts has been getting into good positions. Yes, if you exchange him with Roof for the Millwall game, he scores, but in the other games, he hasn't really had opportunities where he's fluffed his lines. But I understand where you're coming from. I just don't think I don't think it's right to say he's not good enough, because for me he is. But again, football's, you know, a game full of opinions. He says he's missing Roof, Hernandez and Bamford too much. I would start with Dallas instead of Roberts and Forshaw instead of Alioski. That's crazy talk, 1P. Unfortunately, I think if you're playing Dallas, where are you going to play him in exchange for Roberts? Are you meaning we just play Dallas up top? And then you're going to swap Forshaw instead of Alioski? So then play Forshaw wide, I don't know, or maybe play Dallas instead of Alioski and then Forshaw in where Roberts is. I don't know. I think that needs some work, 1P. Maybe get back to Footy Manager and give it a go. The other players, brilliant performances, and Bielsa brilliant too. Tonight Leeds were unlucky. Football sometimes is not fair. Agreed, mate. I just think your decisions of where you would play personnel and substitutions, I just don't think Dallas for Roberts and Forshaw for Alioski is going to change the team for a positive way. If anything, it's going to be it's going to make us worse. So let's not go there. Tiger Steed says Hull City is a must-win, 100%. Tomorrow is a massive game, especially on the, you know, the results we're up. We're still second in the league, and we're doing really well. But if you look, obviously we got a point at Millwall, we lost at Birmingham, a point at Sheffield Wednesday. You know, 2 points out of a possible 9. But we're still second, you know. But I get what you're saying. We need to win at Hull, and then for me, it gives us confidence, and we get full points at Brentford. You know, full points from the Hull and Brentford game. It would be absolutely fantastic if we could get that. So I agree, mate, completely. Defcon22 comments quite a lot, so thanks again, mate, for your support. He says 2 points dropped, simple as that. We conceded just before half time. Bad time to concede. Goal looked amazing, but a bit of a fluke. Yeah, it was frustrating. I remember when it was just so Leeds for me, for them to be getting peppered and then get that fluke goal, and then I just thought, how are we going to get back into the game? I genuinely didn't think at that time. I thought we would struggle when we'd gone behind against a well-experienced championship side in Sheffield Wednesday. But you know, we absolutely peppered them and should have come away with 3 points, and a lot of Sheffield Wednesday fans would agree with me, I think. He goes on to say Klitschko was brilliant, but we could not finish them off. Our injuries still concern me. 10 games, seeing 4 key players sidelined. Can't afford to lose any more. I think the good news is I think we might see Roof, Hernandez and Berardi back for Saturday. I don't think there'll be risk for Tuesday, but I think they'll be knocking on the door come Saturday. So I know what you're saying. It is a bit naff that we've had these key players, but if we're still in that top 6, top 2, hopefully top 2 by the time they're back, then you've got to be happy with that. Because last season and seasons prior to that, them sort of players keep missing, we go tumbling down the table. He goes on to say, Hull on Tuesday need to stay in touch with the top 2. All the best, Joe, marching on together. We are in the top 2. So it's them that need to stay in touch with us. I get what you're saying, but ultimately we haven't dropped out of that yet. And if we win tomorrow, we won't drop out of it, you know what I mean? So, and I genuinely feel, looking at Hull, I know they got a point against Borough, but Borough plays so defensively, it's unbelievable. I think we go to Hull and I know they're struggling, and I think we get maximum points. You know, fingers crossed. So, but I still think we'll be in the top 2, you know, come Wednesday. And then we've got a massive game on Saturday, and hopefully we might see some of them back. As I say, we might get a press conference from Bielsa today, or we'll definitely get one before Saturday. So hopefully we'll have some news on them, and you'll be able to jump in the pre-match for Oscar and ramblings, and get some more in-depth analysis on what we can expect, and if we can expect players back later on in the week. Stephen Hoy, great performance tonight again, Joe. Got caught with a lucky strike, but the players stuck at it. We should have won that 3 or 4. Roberts needs a bit more time. We need Roof back. I think what you're saying, yeah. So like I'd said in the other video in regards to Roberts, I think he could genuinely turn into a 20 plus goals a season, man. I think he's that good when you watch him, and he's still so raw. And you are right, he does need time, and there's a lot on his shoulders at the minute, and it would be good to have Roof there. But at least we know if we're up in games, you know, Roberts can come off the bench, can't he, and have a massive impact now that we know he can play in that position comfortably, especially with Bamford out till January at the earliest. Sorry, I'm making it a bit more homely, look, with my brew and that. It's a little bit more comfortable. Yeah, he said the final ball was lacking all night. Saiz should have stayed on. Alioski should have went off for Dallas. He wasn't great again tonight. How many times can one man be offside, for fuck's sake? I've had him do a full season on the offside trap. Yeah, it's so frustrating. Agreed, mate. And I think we're all losing patience. But you are right, and I know that CJ Wood said as well that it's his work rate that, you know, sometimes he'll go missing, then he'll put in a last ditch challenge, or he'll be up and down that flank. It's just his decision making. It's so naive and it's so frustrating, and I do think his position is under threat when Hernandez comes back, because for me Harrison's done more than enough to warrant a start when Hernandez is back. So, and Hernandez has got to play, so for me Alioski's the one that's got to move out. I don't know what you guys think, let me know, but I think we're all singing off the same hymn sheet in that respect. Moving on then, we've got John Smith. It matters not. It's all about maintaining the style of play, and that we did very well. The results will come. Leeds are still a work in progress and will improve as the season goes. We will dish out some proper hammerings fairly soon on a regular basis. Agreed. We already have. You know, we battered Norwich, we battered Derby, we battered Stoke. You are right. I think that was the element of surprise, a lot of it. But you can see from the game against Sheff Wednesday, even Birmingham to a certain extent, you know, do we convert the chances, then, you know, we batter them, or if we have a better final ball. I think you bring Roof back in there, Hernandez, even when we've got a full fit squad, you know, Bamford back, if we're still where we are at in January, we reinvest hopefully in a new winger, a little bit more creativity from that side of things in replace of Alioski, and a little bit more of a goal threat. I know Alioski's got a few, but I think you're right, mate. I think, you know, personnel are missing, but the one thing Bielsa said, it's the you know, game plan. There's no B. It's the A way all the way. Do you know what I mean? Plan A all the way, and it's showing out. Do you know what I mean? We created so many chances. We've just got to maintain that. You are right, and that's what's so frustrating. And you see it at England, you see it at Leeds, everywhere. When teams are struggling, the coach is reluctant to change it early doors. We don't have that. Bielsa will change it, you know, make changes, and we've seen that against Birmingham. It did affect the game, and they'll hoof long balls and stuff, and we never do that. We're patient, we're methodical. We just play the passes, 1-2 touch, you know, and it's good that they maintain that throughout the full 90 minutes. Gary Keefe says, great review as always. Find your reviews interesting. Been a Leeds fan since '74, now live in New Zealand, but will always be Leeds. Would it be an idea to put Alioski on the bench and play Clark and Harrison, with Dallas and Alioski to come on as hopeful second half game changers if needed? I think people did think Clark was going to get a little bit of a run out, but the fact that he's not even featured yet means that Bielsa doesn't think he's ready. So I think in that sort of position, I don't even think he likes Dallas on there, to be fair, in the wing, in my opinion. He seems to play more central when he does come on. But yeah, I see where you're coming from, and I think in future, once Clark starts to get minutes on the pitch, it will be an idea, but at the minute he's not getting them minutes. He's playing a lot for the under-23s, do you know what I mean, and he makes it to the bench, but he's want to be there maybe later on in the season. But even the fact that he's in and around the first team and learning from Bielsa is only going to be good, because he is a massive talent. But I don't think we're going to see him replace Alioski anytime soon. Jody Den's snap, sorry, he's a Sheff Wednesday fan. As you can imagine, we got a lot of comments on the videos calling us scum cunts and all that sort of stuff. Sorry for the language, scum United and all that sort of stuff. But she actually says, from a Sheff Wednesday fan, fair play, wasn't a one-sided throughout your full vlog. So yeah, no, I did say a bit about Sheff Wednesday. You know, I thought Forestieri put it in and he had a decent game. You know, defensively they were pretty solid. Hector, Lees did some good defensive work, especially Hector, that when he nodded that one from Roberts, if he doesn't get that little flick on that, you know, Roberts scores. Some key last minute blocks and stuff. Forestieri had a good game, Reach had a good game. Yeah, so like I said, I'm never going to be biased, you know. I might not like Sheff Wednesday and I might not like what they're about, or I might not like the team, but listen, sometimes you've got to rise above that and appreciate the opposition. Although I do think you didn't deserve anything from the game, you know what I mean, but there you have it. Philip Million goes on to say, usual good analysis, Joe, thank you mate. What we saw is what we needed, a reaction from players. Another day we win that by 4 or 5. Again, I agree. Sorry. I would be worried if we were not creating the chances, but we just need to put the ball away. We will probably play better and lose games this season, and that's a good point, and I think Oscar touched on that as well. At the end of the day, we will not. You're right. We won't. Look, we did it against Rotherham at home, for example. We'll play worse than that and lose. Sorry, and win games this season. So it'll be interesting. And he says what stood out was how strong we were at the end. We looked a yard quicker to them, onwards and upwards, marching on together. A lot has been made on Sky and stuff. That Divvy Keith Andrews saying, making comments like, "Oh, too many training sessions. They won't like it, blah blah blah." But listen, you watch that game on Friday night and you'll see how fit we are. You know, I think Click came out and said it was like working in an army base. But listen, I don't care. When they're still going at it at that, you know, that game, that's going to pay dividends for us as the season goes on. In my opinion, when people do start to lag, we're still going to be pushing right up until the last minute of every game. Harry Burns. Gutted not to win, but onwards and upwards. Dominated so much and very pleased with performance of players. Love your vids, mate. Always watching them and love the passing, just like us all. Bring on the Codheads Hull. That's a nice one for that, mate. Joseph Tiffany says, it's scary how much we are dominating the ball. Thought Roberts had a great game. Alioski was massively improved tonight. I thought he had an okay game. He was, but he still frustrates you. That's the annoying thing. You know, although he played pretty well, some of his decision making and his offside, for feck's sake, in the first 2 minutes, it's hard to praise him too much, because you're like, you do too much wrong, do you know? Luke Ayling was diabolical in the first half, with his poor passing, really annoying. I thought he did pretty well, me personally. I thought he did well on the right, and a lot of that was due to the fact that Forestieri didn't track back all the time. But I know what you're saying, some of his balls, especially the left foot balls when he had a shot at goal and stuff, when he could have passed it, there was a little bit frustrating. Bailey Peacock-Farrell, awesome tonight, really stated his #1 spot. He says Cooper Janssen, solid as ever. Douglas, awesome. I wish people would get on Douglas. And then he says Click reminds me of Zidane. Let's not get too carried away, Joseph. But no, yeah, he's been quality, Click. I think he's even said I've seen something this morning on Twitter where he said he's not scored as many good goals as he has this season. You know, he's got a new lease of life under Bielsa, pushes forward. He's doing a lot like how Christiansen had done with Phillips the first part of last year. He played Phillips in a forward role and he scored a couple of goals. Not as good as Click, but you know what I mean. And he's got a new lease of life under Bielsa. And he says Phillips outstanding tonight. Defo needed cover for him, which we do. I think when he's out of the team, we don't have that ready-made replacement, which I touched on before. And then he's put, did I miss anyone? You're right. Everyone had a good game, man. A relatively decent game. You know, my frustrations were Alioski and will continue to be. James Cole says you can't say anything bad about the performance. Second half was quality. Even if we don't win, we still play great football, which is good. You know, I'm so happy about that. Like, sometimes I think someone had touched on it about Neil Warnock's style of play and stuff on one of the comments, and you're right. You know, you can go to games and win and still be unhappy and think that was a shit game. At least if we go down, we're still going down playing mint football. You know, plan A all the way. He says it's a joy watching Leeds this season, win, lose or draw, because you know you're going to be watching good football. Keep up the good work, Joe, marching on together. And you're right, James, it's quality. Like, I'm so excited for Saturday, you know, I'm so excited for tomorrow. It's just mint watching Leeds at the minute. And long may it continue. Richard Knowles says, great video, Joe. Leeds, marching on together, thank you. And now for the big one, really. This has got quite a lot of traction. And I want to have a quick read. So we've got a 1 Ian Clark. Some are even questioning his fan loyalties. Does he even support Leeds? So let's have a quick read through and make of it what you will. I think there's been some quite outlandish claims. So Ian Clark says, should have won, but should have doesn't earn us 3 points. Drawing at Wednesday is only acceptable if you've beaten Birmingham at home. So some might agree with that. That's fair enough. As it is, we've won winning 5 and 6 points out of 15. That's lower mid-table form. That may be the case, but we're second in the league. Okay, and last season we lose a lot of them games, and we've been playing good opposition. We've got worse opposition to come, which for me will win comfortably. But I get what you're saying. Birmingham for me are a decent team. Their positions fail to deceive in the league. He goes on to say that was against the likes of Birmingham, without a win previously, Millwall, relegation zone, and Preston, bottom. Well, we know what we did at Preston. Yes, we lost in the cup. For me, that's a nothing game. He says, nobody wants us to go up more than me. I do question it though when you carry on here. But we have to be realistic. We are at best one of around 12 teams competing for a playoff place. West Brom will hit top spot within the next week and they'll stay there. So they have hit top spot. So we'll see if they stay there. I don't agree, but we'll see. He says Derby will most likely go second place, and we are one of the rest scrapping for a playoff place. I don't think you can say that. I think we comfortably beat Derby, and they're very inconsistent. Like, they have some very good results, but they're not in the top 2, are they? You know what I mean? We have been consistent, and consistency is key. Win your home games, get points away. Listen, we deserve more from the last 2 games. But listen, you know, I think you've commented in another video before, Ian, and you said that West Brom will hit top spot and Derby will go second, and we'll be scrapping for, like, I think it was 5th and 6th with the likes of Borough and Villa and all these sort of stuff. I still think we are top 2 material. He goes on to say, Bielsa is not a footballing genius, not in capitals, yeah? He's an okay coach. That statement in itself is crazy. To say he's an okay coach. Look at last season, the same personnel, and look at the style of football. Yes, we played in parts a little bit like this. You take the Burton game at home last season under TC where we won 5-0. We were unreal, but only little flashes. And this calibre of team. You know, if you compare Burton, who are now in League 1, to a Derby who we battered 4-1, to a Norwich who we battered 3-0, to a Stoke City who've just come out of the Prem. It's no comparison. So to say he's an okay coach based on what he's done with these individuals is crazy talk, Ian. He says he's got a checkered history, which he has. He's done very great things. You know, he might not have won league titles, but he's done amazing things. But at the time, you know, with the Lazio when he's left early and stuff. He said he spent most of his career managing in international football, which is a world away from club football. Okay, his English is abysmal. So how on earth is he going to communicate subtle tactical points or find inspirational words to squeeze that extra 1% out of players in a tight game? For me, at the minute, we don't need that extra 1%. Fuck that 1%, mate. We're already head and shoulders above anyone we've come up against, in my opinion, yeah? Yes, against Birmingham, we struggled to score, but we were still the better team. Possession-wise, chances-wise, you know, touches in the opposition half, box, everything. You're saying his English is abysmal. For me, I don't think it's as bad as you first thought. Have you heard him firsthand try speak English to his players? The odd communication without actually having to have a question interpreted from some guy at Sky, which for me, I've seen him had the little words in people's ears and stuff. I don't think he's as poor as we think. I think he's very astute with the press. He doesn't like doing any of that stuff. But for me, when you're saying how on earth is he going to communicate sort of tactical points or find inspirational words to squeeze that extra, mate, he's already communicated subtle tactical points. Look at the fucking team, for fuck's sake. We are a different animal. Look at the game on Friday night. We were unreal. You focus too much on the point. If you look at what we did to Chef Wednesday, this is a team that beat Villa the week before, that had been, unbeaten in 3-4, won the last 3-4. So he's already doing that. And we were 2-0 behind against Birmingham, yeah? He takes Phillips off, moves to a back 3. That's tactical. And then we dominate the game. So he's obviously able to convey subtle tactical points because it changed the game completely. If you watch that game back, you will see that. He says management is all about communication and man management. Okay, right. Why is Harry Redknapp still not in the game then? You know, all these mint man managers, Sam Allardyce. It's not about that. It's not all about that. I get what you're saying, little parts of it. But look at the way football's changed. All these dinosaur managers who were mint at man management and stuff, they're no longer in the game. The game's changed. Look at the people who are doing well at the moment. It's all about tactical prowess. So I'm not having that. It says, as it is, in the heat of battle, he needs to rely on a non-football translator to understand and communicate what he says to an English-speaking member of staff who needs to understand and communicate that to the players. 4 links in the chain as opposed to 2 Chinese whispers. Well, if they're playing Chinese whispers, mate, they're doing a fucking very good job, because we're being unreal. So I'm all about that Chinese whisper life. I think you're being very, very negative. He goes on to say, when he is replaced, it needs to be by the Cowley brothers, who are on course for their 2nd title and 3rd trophy in 3 seasons at Lincoln. Up and coming, young, English in capital letters, managers. So, what is it? Is it because they're not English? Is it because Bielsa's not English that you don't like him? And no disrespect, mate, I'm not pretending, like, people might laugh at me, but who the fuck are the Cowley brothers? When I first read it, I thought, is he on about the 2 runners, the Brownlee brothers from Leeds? Do you know what I mean? And listen, you might have better football knowledge and you might come back with that, Ian, but at the end of the day, who the feck are the Cowley brothers? If we were to give the Cowley brothers this job, it'd be like giving it Ockaday. Do you think fans would be happy with that? We just got rid of someone like Heckingbottom, who was a young and English up-and-coming coach. Fuck that, man, that's crazy talk. You've got one of the best managers in the world at the helm, and you're finding negatives when we're 2nd in the league and have only lost 1 game. It's crazy. Managers who already have a proven track record of success and who by next summer will certainly be ready to step up to the Championship. So you're saying, right, so we don't go up this year. We scrap everything Bielsa's done because the Cowley brothers, who will do a bit of running on the side, have won trophies at Lincoln. Give your head a shake, mate. Honestly. He says they've transformed a club that was going nowhere into a club with its sights set on the Championship. You're on about Lincoln, dude. Man management and inspiration, leadership and great communication are gaining capital. So I think it's something to do with this manager not being English. Got a bit of an agenda against him. Like last year, we made a decent start based on fitness, hard work and enthusiasm. That goes a long way in the first 6 to 8 games, when many clubs are slightly behind on fitness and still looking to gel. From then on, sides with best quality start to rise to the top. So do you think, right, so based on this year, okay, let's say your ethos is right, and we're now going to falter, are you trying to say that the Cowley brothers would have changed this? Is that what you're saying? So the next games now, we've had them 6 or 8 where we've done really well because of his fitness, and apparently no one else does fitness apart from us at the start of the season, so we catch them all out. That's what you're trying to say. And then after these 6 to 8 games, get the Cowley brothers in and we'll win the league. Is that what you're saying? I don't understand what you're trying to say. Then he says, best quality start to rise to the top. Like last year, we were also fortunate with the way fixtures panned out. Not at all. So you're comparing last year's fixtures. I wish I had them off the top of my head. But it goes on to say, we visited Derby, Swansea and Norwich whilst they were still finding their feet. What are you talking about? Derby and Norwich have been in the Championship for a long time. Derby, what do you mean they're finding their feet? Because they've got Frank Lampard. Swansea. And then he says, realistically, we are hoping to scrape into 6th place. Let's hope we can. That's crazy talk, Ian. And like Juan Pablo says, he questions if you're a Leeds fan. He then goes on to say Spanish. So Juan Pablo says, I'm sure you're not a Leeds fan. He says Spanish, Argentinian. Of course Spanish speakers know more about our club and English football than fans of almost 50 years. This, to me, I don't want to throw mud here, but you're saying but because he's Spanish and Argentinian, that he knows less about the club than an English football fan. I don't like the way in which you're going. Why wouldn't he? Listen, I can almost guarantee there will be people from outside of England that know more about Leeds United than me. 100%. Just because I'm English doesn't give me a given right to know more than these people. And no disrespect, Juan Pablo's putting you in the bin, Ian, because some of your comments are crazy. You want to get two divvy brothers from down at Lincoln just because they're English and can speak English and get them in? You're absolutely crazy, mate. And then straight away for you to go Spanish, Argentinian. Of course, Spanish speakers know more about a club in English football than fans of almost 50 years. Fuck, I don't care how old. Mate, at the end of the day, it's an absolute joke that you would assume that just because someone's not from this country that they won't know more than you. It's evident from looking at everyone's comments in this. We've got people who live in New Zealand, Chile and Argentina. They know a lot more than you. And listen, I'm not coming for you, but I think that you're coming for, you know, our manager just because he's Argentinian. And that's why we question why if you're a Leeds fan. He goes on to say, it's a delusion. In 50 years, I know enough about football to recognise managers and teams who are promotion winners, title winners, trophy winners. Bielsa and this Leeds team are just not good enough. Be in denial all you like. The beauty is football that we will see beyond doubt who is correct as the season develops. There has never been in the manager in the history of the club I was coming having actually achieved so little throughout his career, and yet thousands of brainwashed people are convinced he is a world beater. Mate, Hockaday came in from nowhere. Heckingbottom came in from nowhere. Thomas Christensen came in from nowhere. Darko Milanic, I could go on. I could go way back. None of them have the pedigree that Bielsa has. Bielsa is probably the only manager that can come in and actually probably make demands. He's probably he's of a higher echelon than what we are, and I've said this before. No one wants to agree with that. So to say that nobody's come in who's not achieved as much as, you know, it's absolutely crazy. In the same bracket as Guardiola. He gets put in that bracket because Guardiola says he's in that bracket. Guardiola, Pochettino, Sarri, Diego Simeone all attribute their success in football to getting tips or looking at his style of play. But remember, Ian Clark knows that the fecking Brownlee brothers down the road could do a better job. Just remember that. People go on to just carry on. Listen, it goes on. Just have a little read because it's absolutely crazy. And I've been going on for quite a while now, so I don't want to dive too much in. But Ian, listen, I feel like it might, I don't know. It is what it is. I think let's take off them Great Britannia rose tinted glasses, put them on, and let's have a look at it logically, mate. But listen, guys, it's been a pleasure as always. I will probably see you tomorrow with a post-match review after the Hull game. Make sure you're all watching. And just have a mint Monday. Look forward to Tuesday. Hopefully see you all Saturday back at the home of football, Ellen Road. But yeah, make sure you like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. Watch out for the guys' pre-match stuff for Hull, Oscar and Conor. And like you say, leave your comments in this video as well. It's been a pleasure. Marching on together. Leeds, Leeds, Leeds.